Hey moms, welcome to another episode of the Life Unboxed blog show where we talk about all things momtrepreneur, from raising your kids to running a business and the most important, to keeping your sanity. I am Jodie the mom from lifeunboxed.blog. And if you're enjoying this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a 5-star review if you're listening on the podcast, and the most important one, be sure to share the channel. Is central to a good business plan, or is it? And you can definitely, I will leave the link for that video in the description below. So definitely check that out. Today we are going to talk about how to make money from home without a niche. Yay! And it's not a multi-level marketing advice. Although, hey, I have some friends who make bank doing multi-level marketing stuff. That's just, it doesn't fit my personality. So I will let them make the money in that area, and I will teach you, wonderful mom boss, how to make money from home without a niche. The niche is like a magic bullet in business. If you're researching or looking into how to make money from home, this will be the number one piece of advice you will come across. Find a niche. Every marketing and business book tells you to do just that. Find your niche and success will follow. Well, in some instances, I'm sure this is true, it is not a magic bullet when you're looking for how to make money from home. So in the previous video, like I mentioned, we defined what a niche is and why it is not necessary to start a business. So not necessary for starting a business. So the elusive niche is not a bad idea or a wrong one. But when we hyper focus on one idea to the exclusion of all others, it is a problem. So I'm going to say that again because I don't think I ever say that enough. When we hyper focus on one idea to the exclusion of all other ideas, then it is a problem. So you can make money from home without a niche. And if you're looking at me going, is she crazy? Is she serious? This is not what I hear in any of my searches. Everybody is always telling me to either find a niche or to specialize. I created a workbook, so I am putting not really my money, but my time, I guess time is money, where my mouth is. So I have created a workbook, the Mom Boss 2.0 workbook, to take you through this process step by step. And I will show you, I will give you an insider's glimpse of a few of the pages at the end of the video. So stay tuned. And this is a 20-page workbook. So you're not getting 5 pages or something like that. You're getting a lot of substance with it, and it's totally free for you. All right, so for all of you master generalists out there, I hope you are feeling hopeful about starting a business. If you've been looking in every direction, wondering what is the one and only thing you should be doing, you can break free from the mindset and let's look at all the possibilities. So let's look at some of these possibilities that we have before us. And why, and the first one we're going to talk about is why you can start a business without a niche. So there are so many small businesses and solopreneurs out there who need help. So let's imagine that we're them, because we are. You are a business owner. You are looking to hire someone who can really take a lot of tasks off your plate so that you can grow your business. But you only have the means to hire one person. You receive 2 applications. One person is very good at one thing, and just make up whatever that one thing is. They're very good at this one thing. And while that could be helpful, the second candidate has a wide variety of knowledge. They have a track record of learning new skills quickly and efficiently. And so their knowledge is actually very wide ranging. So they won't be just locked into one and only thing. So as a small business owner, who is going to offer you the most help? The person who's just really, really good at one thing, or the person who has proven that they can be very good at a whole bunch of things? I think you know the answer. Are you ready, my generalist, my master generalist, to find out possibility number 2? So, what does a business without a niche look like? So, starting a business without a niche looks like any other business. It really does. Except you have a longer list of services that you offer, and you focus more on why you're doing what you're doing instead of what you are doing. So if you need help figuring out your why, I always recommend Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. We also talk about it in the Mom Boss 2.0 workbook. Obviously, he spent 200 something pages on the topic, and I'm spending 1 page. So he will have a lot more to say than I will, but the workbook will get you off to a good start. So to start discovering your why, you need to ask yourself, why do you want your business to exist? Knowing your why gives you the freedom to start a business that is not based on a passion for a product or service. Again, knowing your why gives you the freedom to start a business that is not based on your passion for a product or a service. This means you can break beyond all the mom gurus telling you that in order to have the life you love, you need to start a business based on your passion. Because, honey, passion does not always pay the bills. Let me just tell you that. So you can go beyond the idea that passion needs to trump everything. Yes, you can say, finally, somebody understands me. She's not telling me to be passionate about it, because you're not always passionate. And you know what? That's okay. So this opens so many opportunities, ideas, and freedom. So I do talk more about this in a previous video called Chasing Your Dreams, and that is also a 2-part series. So I'll be sure to link that in the description below so that you can dive into why you do not have to be passionate about your work or what you're doing or a product. So your business does not need to be based on a passion for a product or service. It is really easy to get caught up with the idea that you could only start a business if you are passionate about it. Now, I think that you should like what you do. If you're dreading getting up every morning to do a task, then this needs to change. But liking what you do and being passionate about it are not the same things, and that's okay. Like Elmo's Potty Time. Okay? If you've never watched that, it's really old. But when you have a house, when your age spans from 16 to less than 2, you will quote Elmo along with Marvel and Star Wars. So that's your Elmo wisdom, and that's okay. All right, so let's get back into our possibility number 3. This is our third one and why finding a niche opens up so many more possibilities for you. So this is the third reason. So you aren't limited to what's familiar. So you aren't limited to industries that are already familiar to you. So usually when you're determining your niche, you stick to with what you are familiar with and the knowledge you already know. So think about the possibilities. You can work in an industry that you've never considered before. Or maybe it was just an idea or a dream that you would like to work in this industry. This is possible if you aren't focused on a specific niche or target market. You will have more opportunities to say yes to things you would never have considered starting out. If potential clients know that you're open to trying different things, you will be asked to try these things more often. And your job is to just say yes. Even if you're not confident in your skills, like forget the imposter syndrome. If you have been working and your knowledge is wide, and that means you've had to learn new things probably on the fly. So if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, do you think you can build a website for me? You can tell them honestly, well, I've only built my own, but I'm pretty confident I can do one for you too. Say yes. And you may be asked to build a few more after that. That is what happened to me, my friends. So your possibilities, you have more possibilities when you are a generalist than a specialist. So when I started out on this wonderful world of being a VA, I never listed bookkeeping as a service that I offered. Now, it was something I had done in the past. It was a job that I had, and I was fairly good at it. I'm not an expert, but I can keep books. And I just thought I hated it. So, however, I was asked if this was something that I could do, and I said yes. Actually, for this particular client, I ended up keeping his books as well as blogging for him. So definitely not a niche job description there. Bookkeeping and blogging, they both start with B. That's about all they have in common. So I kept getting requests for bookkeeping services, and I realized that this was something that was needed. So that's always good if you can provide a service that is actually needed and wanted. And this was a service I could provide. I also discovered something else. Bookkeeping was something that I actually enjoyed doing if I worked independently. So if I chose to just stick with the niche, I would have lost the opportunity to work with most of my clients, or I would have turned them away because they weren't my ideal client. So we have talked about the greater possibilities that will be open to you if you're not searching for this elusive niche. Now, is making money from home with the niche a bad thing? Absolutely not. So whether you start a business with a niche or without one, you can be successful on your own terms. There is so much business advice out there that sometimes we get stuck, you know what I'm going to say, with hyper focusing on one idea. The popular one being that you need a niche. And this video is meant to challenge this current idea and to offer an alternative. So I'm not saying having a niche or not having a niche, one is better than the other. I am not saying that at all. I want to challenge that the whole niche idea is the only way, because it is not. There is more than one way to start a business. When I was starting my own business, I heard so much of needing a niche that it really made me think I can never be successful. And I want you to know how to make money from home without a niche, and that it is possible and you can do it. Give yourself permission to ignore the advice of finding your niche. So as promised, I want to just give you a glimpse of the Mom Boss 2.0 workbook that focuses specifically on teaching you how to start a business without a niche. So the Mom Boss 20-page workbook, it gives you the tools that you need to start a business without a niche so that you can break free from the 9 to 5, be your own boss, raise your kids, and enjoy your life. So here's the cover right here, and I'll show you a few of the pages. Now, if you watched the previous video already, you've already seen these pages. So, but for those who are just jumping in on this video, I'll go ahead and show you them as well. So this is what we talk about in the workbook. So the first thing we're going to start with is we're going to talk about your why. Second, we're going to talk about the type of business. Third, you're going to create a one-liner or elevator pitch. Fourth, you're going to describe your services. Fifth, we're going to talk about your potential client, but we are going to talk about it in a way that I've never seen anyone else talk about it. And that is, we're going to think through real people in your life who could benefit from your business. We are not creating an imagined avatar. Not doing that. Okay. So number 6, we're going to talk about the initial investment, and then number 7 are other things to consider. So for each section, you're going to have a one page that's going to walk you through some steps, talk about it. And I've tried to give you as much information as I could in one page. So there's a lot in there. And then next, there's going to be a worksheet. And not all of them look like this. This is just the one particular one I chose to do for this one. So, but there will be a worksheet to work through everything that you just read. So this is for the services. This one, potential clients. So we're going to talk about what a potential client would look like for you. And then you're going to start writing them down. So you can pick up your Mom Boss 2.0 workbook for free off the website and the lifeunboxed.blog. And I will be sure to leave a link in the description below. I am so glad you joined me today. I always enjoy sharing just these things that I have learned along the way that I really found to be a frustration for me when I started out, to kind of, I like disabusing you of ideas that people push so hard to the point of excluding everything else. So I'm glad we could really dive into this topic of finding a niche, and you really don't need to do that if you are a generalist and your knowledge is wide. Be sure to share this video with your friends. And is there somebody else out there who could really use this knowledge? Be sure to pass along that information. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to check out the Life Unboxed blog store for all of your awesome Mom Boss merch. And I will see you in the next video or podcast show for my listeners.